Hello my people, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to tell you a story, and this story that I want to share in this video is going to share light to your part. It's going to give you another perspective about life, like what you should focus on and what you should probably just take your eyes off, right? My mom just shared me this story. She just told this story to me, and I'm like, that's awesome. I think that's solid. Let me tell you guys this thing. Probably because after I heard that story, my perspective about things changed and I get more focused. So I think let me just share this with you, probably. But before I share this story with you, I want to tell you a little bit about my problem and how I got to that point. And I think this problem that I'm going to share with you as well, most of you guys that are watching this video, you're 100% into the fashion business. So I think my problem is probably something you've gone through or something you will still eventually get to. So in retrospect, I've told you guys that 2024 is the year that I decided to work for individual. I don't do that. And this is a different pool. This is like a different game entirely. It's like it's crazy, bro. Like it's crazy. Right? If you're trying to build a fashion business, there's so many things that come with it. The kind of business that we run in Nigeria, the kind of fashion business that we run in Nigeria, currently, the system is structured for failure. I'm going to say that again. The current system of fashion designing that we run in Nigeria, in Africa in general, the system itself is structured for failure. Think back. Think about your sisters, your older aunts that are into fashion. How far have they gone? Where are they now? And it is so unfortunate that the business, the system that was created, right? There is no footprint that we can follow in order to build a successful fashion business, a successful fashion empire. Just in case you still do not know that there is no luxury brand in Africa. 100% of luxury brand that we're wearing is probably US or European made. You just mentioning Shei Vodi, you can mention Yomi Casual, you can mention all of these big names, right? They are just big name to us, but not to general. It's just start in Nigeria and end in a couple of outside of Nigeria. Among we blacks and maybe like 0.00001% of the white. You understand? But to build a fashion empire, this system that we are running has to change. This is nonsense. Like total nonsense. Let me tell you how the system works and how the failure is like something inevitable. How the failure is inevitable. You get to learn fashion designing, right? Then you get to probably rent a shop and you waited for somebody that doesn't have any knowledge about fashion to go to the market, buy fabric and bring the fabric to you, and you sew it and you give it to them. So all they needed from you is your knowledge, not your product. That's one failure on its own, right? This kind of system does not give you the ability to scale. This kind of business does not give you the reason to wanted to expand, because it is structured between one client to one manufacturer. It's structured for failure. If you search for how to build a fashion business and you're seeing the Western idea of fashion business, you see that these people can tell you like they scale their business from $1,000 to $20,000 because all they do is just to buy a ready-made round neck and print on it and sell it. Can you do that in Nigeria? You can do that to a certain extent. But because the fundamental of people's mentality is structured to buy fabric, give it to tailor to sew, and they get their money. But they don't know that this thing that they're doing is holding every tailor down. Like, this business formula, this system is holding you down until you come to the realization that you need to create your product and find your buyer, aka consumer, before you can scale bigger than you are right now. You need your product first, then you need your consumer. Instead, the way this thing is that you build you get the knowledge, then you get the consumer that bring half. See, I've tried my possible best to restructure this whole thing in my business, but because the way people's mentality is structured, we still affect you. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. November crossover to December has been extremely overwhelming for me because for my business, things are going phenomenal and things are going extremely fast. I'm trying my best to capture, to walk up to the stage, to like do it and meet up. And at the same time, the system that is currently working in Africa and in Nigeria, which is like 60% of my customer base, is messing up the progression that I'm supposed to scale to. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. Probably you have a solution to my problem. You can probably drop it down, right? I'm trying to solve this, and I will definitely solve it. This system is messed up. And the more you stretch your hand forward to collect a fabric from a client, the more that fabric is like a load to your progress. Nobody's going to tell you this, but I'm telling you this because it is what it is. That is it. The more they give you fabric and they put some amount of money on top of that fabric, the more they reduce your ability to create the thing that is yours. Because everybody that come with a fabric come with a style. Have you gotten to that point? They come with a fabric and they come with a style. And the more you're creating their style, the less time you have to create your own design portfolio. I've been able to reduce this to like 80% of my products are ready made and 20% is like made to measure. I've tried to reduce this. But because the system is still, the client that are going to pay you way more money, like shit. But outside of that, so that I can get to the core of this particular video that I'm making, which is the story that is going to change your perspective, right? Is that November crossover to this month, I've been overwhelmed. A lot of things are happening. People are ordering a lot of, like, so many things are happening, and it's very fast happening to me at the same time. And I need to meet up, do more of my hiring more people, scaling more of my business, building more portfolio. All of these things, they're happening so much that I got to a point that I was overwhelmed. There are a lot of things. I just wanted to like give up. Like, let me just stop this. Let me just stop everything and just see. Like, I want to see clearly. So there was this particular day I decided not to go out. I was just in the house, just like, there are a lot of calls coming in on my phone, and I'm like, God, what is going on? So my mom called me, and she's like, how are you? What's up? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of things are happening. And she said, oh, I think you are like overwhelmed, right? I'm like, that's the best English to use. I'm overwhelmed. A lot of things are happening. It's like, so I told her something that, because that particular morning, a customer called me and it's like, no, you said this is going to be ready by this time, and this is not how to do business. This is not how to do business. I'm like, imagine, 99% of these people probably have never done business before. And now, me myself, I've never done business before. I've done a lot of online business where you can scale up to like $10,000, $5,000 monthly, right? It's a normal thing, you can do that. But when it comes to creating a product, this is my first time. And I'm going to do this successfully. I'm going to build this. But this is the problem that comes with trying to do this, right? So this person called me, but that thing actually hits me like, this is not how to do business. You have to be more this and that. And so I told my mom, like, this is what happened. Like, so she was like, oh, is that why you were like down and things? I'm like, a lot of things is just happening. I'm just overwhelmed. Like, it's crazy. I just needed some time to just freshen my brain. So she told me, let me tell you a story. And that's where the story come up. I said, just listen carefully. So I just put the phone on speaker. I'm like, okay, let me hear this. Let me hear this. She likes to tell me story, like a lot of story about, but they're wise story. I've learned quite a lot from it. So she told me, once upon a time, there is this king and a slave, right? So this slave has been with the king for like 40 years, because the king is old. The king is like 80 years old and the slave is like 60 years old, like 20 years old between them. The slave has been with the king for so long that they've grown bonds. Several times the king asked the slave for advice, and because the slave is very wise, the king mostly follow the advice, and most of the time it comes positive. The king is so used to the king that he has access to all of the king's properties and is the one in charge of the king's treasury and things like that. So one particular day, this slave did something wrong. And everybody in the village keep telling the king, this thing that this slave did, you have to like kill the slave. It deserved death, right? But because of the love that the kings asked for the slave, he was skeptical of just being like, but you have been with me for so long. I cannot just decide to just kill you because of. But why would you do this? Why would you do something this outrageous, right? So the king come up with an idea so that he's going to give the slave a chance to probably save himself. So he came up with this idea. The slave is going to use a spoon to take water from one point to another point. And if a drop of water fell down from the spoon, they're going to kill the slave immediately. Death by hanging. Straight up. No cap. Right? This is how she was telling me the story. You be speaking Yoruba, she was speaking this to me in my dialect. So I'm just trying to like explain it in English. I'm not like a story person, but I'll try my possible best to make this interesting. Right? So the slave has to take this from point A to point B, making sure that a drop of water does not come down from the spoon. And it's a distance, right? So between that distance, there is from the right side, there are people that are encouraging the slave. You can do it. Please, don't drop the water. You can do this. Try your best. And on the left side, there are people that are like, you are a bastard. You cannot do this. What you did is bad. We have to kill you. Blah, blah, blah. So from right and left, there are people with saying different things. Some to discourage him and some to like encourage him. So he carried this water this spoon filled with water. And immediately he took this spoon filled with water and he started going to the point in which he was going to. Just carried the water and he was just taking it to where he's taking it to. Eventually, God's willing, he managed to take the water from point A to point B without the water dropping. And everybody started praising him. He did it. And the king was like, wait, there are people on your left side that are saying, you can do it. And there are people shouting, the crowd shouting on your right side that you cannot do it. They have to kill you. Then the slave look up and is like, are there people there? Oh, I did not even hear that there are people around me. The king was like, why? They're shouting, they're screaming. How are you able to not hear them? He said, I could not hear anybody from my left or from my right because I'm carrying my life. This is my life. Because if a drop of water fall, that is my death. So I don't think I even heard anybody in existence. The only thing I'm focused on is taking this water from this spoon from point A to point B. Now, after she told me this story, she just said, take your time and just think about it. She said, Timbasoke Oh shit. If I'm trying to explain this to you, you might not get the point. If I'm trying to like tell you this, the meaning of the story, you might not like. So take your time, stop whatever you're doing, and just think about the story yourself and bring out the wisdom you need to bring out from the story. This is what she told me. So when I relaxed and I start to process this story, I come to the realization that it is impossible to go from point A to point B without a lot of negative and probably like 20% of positive noise coming from both sides, telling you can't do it or you can do it. There's no possibility that you're going to go through your life without making a mistake that will warrant your downfall. But the decision to like focus on where you're going is one of the most essential things. So being able to focus on your life and taking your life from point A to point B and just ignoring every other thing from all sides is the most essential thing for human growth and for human development. I processed this myself, then we spoke, then she analyzed the whole thing to me from her own perspective, which is solid, filled with extreme level of wisdom. But I want you also to go through this story and just analyze it yourself. Try to find the wisdom that you need to navigate through your own personal journey. It's amazing. It's amazing how life could be. After I heard this story and we talk about it together, I've been able to understand some things. I've been able to take away a lot of fears from my heart, because it is impossible to not. It is impossible to not make mistake. It is impossible to not disappoint. It is impossible to walk and your head will not shake. It is impossible to not fail at some point, you know. But holding your head straight and knowing that now where they go be this and nothing goes up, that's the only way actually. So that will be about it on this video. I've been able to like re-energize myself, refocused my energy to where the main place that I want to go. And a lot of things has to change for me to reach there. A lot of things has to like change. A lot of me has to like not listen to a lot of things, you know. So that will be about it on this video. My phone is ringing. Some people are calling me and I had to like respond to those people, and I just have to like make this video as fast as possible. If you like this video, you can follow me to see more of my video. If you've never seen my video before, my name is Olasukomitela. I am the founder of Talk Clothing. You can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on Telegram, you can follow me on TikTok, you can follow me on every other social media that is possible, Pinterest, and you should subscribe to this channel to see more of my video. That will be about it, and I will see you on the next one. Do have a lovely rest of your evening, or your day, or your afternoon, or your morning. Bye bye. Peace, and to the head, salute.